All right, with that, let's go ahead and get started. My name is Daryl Martin with ApexInvesting.com, doing another video webinar series coming live to you here on Be the Sniper or Be the Target. It's your choice. Make it today. So, as with every financial presentation, you got to do their disclaimers of there is risk. Know what you're doing before you do it. Make sure you're using risk capital. Okay? So, what are we covering tonight? First thing, I just want to ask y'all, we went over the two trades on Tuesday night to help simplify and increase the confidence while you're learning. Has that helped? Has anybody done well with that? So making it a lot easier, doing awesome. It did its job. I got my 3 for 3. It worked great. It made it simple. It's unbelievable. I've done very well. Didn't do great yesterday, but I did good today. I got 3 for 3 for the first time last night. I can actually breathe now. Those are some good comments. So, awesome. That was the goal. Now, one of the questions that came up was that and I went over this, but that I think a few people may have missed. They're like, well, does that mean I don't need all the other levels and stuff on my chart? Okay. So can I get rid of everything on my chart? So what do y'all think the answer to that is? Should you remove all the other stuff from your chart to make it nice and clean and simple? Okay, I'm getting a lot of no's. Explicatives, no's. Exactly. So one of the things is those levels are there also for what is the one thing you don't take those trades into? The two setups, the mini magnet trapped Xbox setup and the paw on a OP level trapped Xbox setup. You don't take them into stacks. Exactly. And are those levels part of stacks? Yes, they are. Very much so. Okay, so they are part of stacks. They can be part of stacks, exactly. So you're going to want them on there for stacks. Now, here's something I've learned just over the years and tens of thousands of hours of chart time. And a lot of times I'll test things just simply by putting it on my chart without even trying to analyze it and to see over time if I see a pattern where it gives me an edge. Okay, I don't have to even test it out. I can just put it on there. Do you think that maybe as you're learning the Xbox setups and eventually as you're learning the other setups, even though they may not be the two setups I taught you last night, that they might start to make more sense and you might actually start to see patterns of what's working and what's not? You might start to get a feel for ranges and trends and divergence and things like that, and that you could even practice spotting divergence and spotting ranges, even if you're not taking the trade because it's not one of those two. But do you think like that, like just having it there, because now you know what to like laser focus zoom in on, right? But just having it there lets you relax because you know what you're focused on versus everything. And when you're relaxed, do you think you're more likely to learn better? Like absorb things easier? Yeah, your mind just starts absorbing things and you start going, oh, I see the trend. Oh, I see the OD. Because you're not freaking out about trying to see the trend and the OD and the range. So as we call it out in the room, or as other traders call things out in the room, you're like, oh, I can see that. I learned a lot from that. Because now you're not stressed out. Okay? So definitely don't get rid of the stuff on there. And definitely keep moving forward and learning the stuff in Section 8. Don't let that be where you stop. Okay? Because you can get your 3 trades a lot faster as you learn how to do the setups, learning how to read the markets better. So Section 8 on the sniper page, step 8, like go through and learn that stuff. Keep learning it, but now you get to learn it without as much stress. Do y'all like that plan? There we go. Okay, y'all are loving it. So good. That was the intent. So I'm really, really happy to see that. Getting all positive feedback, which is great. So we're going to go over a few things tonight. We're going to go over what a static DOM is versus a dynamic DOM is and how to get it. Okay? I'm going to go over how to set up the DOM. Okay, like the properties, all that stuff. I'm going to talk about some of the most common mistakes that people make, and one of them being the most common mistake. I'm going to talk about how to enter orders on a DOM. Okay. I'm also going to talk a little bit about how to use depth of market on the DOM in order to help you with your stops, your trails, things like that. Okay. And what we're going to do, we have a couple webinars, and as y'all give feedback on what we want, we sort of list those things out. Who would like us to do some webinars where we go over and explain the charts, like what each piece is? Would that be nice to actually understand what all those pieces are? Because I did this a little bit reversed in this course, where I didn't go into that at the beginning because it's sort of overwhelming at first. I just went into, this is what you need to know. Look for the red box. Look for the blue, like I teach my 7-year-old. Look for the red box with the blue thing inside of it and a white line on top, right? And trade it and just see how it works. Now that you're in and you got it and you're like, this is freaking awesome. Now I'd like to actually understand what some of these things mean. Okay? So the next two webinars, on the next webinar, I'm going to go everything that's not OP. All right, I'm going to go over diagnostic bars and bar range and oscillation detector and the divergence, the triple dippers, right? And go over what those are. I'm going to go into the expected volume, the deviation reversal, the walls, the gap levels, the dynamic levels, the 6240, the flux levels. Like all those things, why they're important. So I wanted to teach you to drive the car first, and now we're going to get to talk about the extra buttons. Okay? And then on Thursday, I'm going to go into order prints. I'm going to go into X boxes, and I'm going to go into the exhaustion boxes and the stars, and I'm going to go into the magnets and the ZOIs and the institutional blocks and the trapped orders and the low volume scores and all that stuff. So I'm going to help you understand. But so that way, and I separated them so you'd be able to understand what is OP, what's not OP, and what's the difference and what's important and why. Do y'all like that idea for next week? Does that sound like, is that valuable to you, or does that just sound boring? The idea here being, now that you're sort of relaxing, now let's start sort of understanding what we're looking at. So, and then in some of the future webinars, what I may end up doing is, have y'all noticed, especially if you're a gold member, which a lot of you are, that you have a lot of other tools in that toolbox that aren't even on your chart? Have y'all noticed that? Would you like to know how to use some of those? Okay, so I was thinking about doing that on some of the future webinars and going through different pieces of everything you have access to. Okay? And some of the stuff will be useful. Some of it you'll incorporate. You'll make it your own. Some of it you're like, yeah, I don't want that. You'll see why we made a lot of those things. So once you really understand it all, you will see even more what you have available to you. And it's so far beyond basic indicators and what's out there. I think you'll really be blown away by really seeing the true edge you have with these tools. And so I want to help educate you on those tools so you can take advantage of those edges. Okay? And then also I want to do a webinar. I know a lot of y'all are... Anybody here transitioning from demo to live, getting a funded account? Just one of you? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There we go. 9, 10, 11. There we go. It's getting up. Just got funded. So starting live, going live. I got it done. I'm funding. I'm getting it funded. I'm in sim right now. I'm already funded. I'm in sim. I'm getting ready. I sold my other vehicle so I can fund my account. Wired it in. There you go. So you're getting there, right? So I figured maybe it might be good for a week from Tuesday to do a webinar on transitioning from demo to live. The psychology aspect, the financial aspect, some of the settings, things like that. And just to help everybody out that hasn't got there. And for those who have already got there, we'll throw in some chart review too. You like it? So, this sort of giving you an idea of what's up. I'm always trying to figure out what can I teach y'all, And sometimes it's going to be new. Sometimes it's going to be basics. And sometimes it's going to be going over things again and again. Do you think that we need to go over things again and again as humans? To really grind it in? Get it down? Yeah. So sometimes, we may just okay, we're going to go over obstacles all over again. We're going to go over stacks all over again, So, a lot of repetition. Yes, exactly. Much better than forgetting things. And then at the Apex live event, we're going to take this DOM stuff to a whole different level. Okay? You're obviously going to get first access to that knowledge being there. Okay? And don't worry. Okay? Now, there's something that's going to go on. One, we're going to do a webinar after the live event on the more advanced DOM stuff. Okay? So does that make some of y'all happy that are like, I can't go? So, obviously, nothing's going to replace being with us for 3 days. Do y'all agree with that? If you can be there, you're going to get the most out of it. But we'll do a webinar on it. Okay? So you won't just completely miss out. Just obviously 3 days of time sitting there with us and computers and charts is a little different. But, so don't feel you're going to miss out. Now, I am building you up to this. Some of you are like, I need the tool now. I want that shiny toy now. You don't even know how to use a DOM yet. You don't want one with unlimited levels until you know how to use it. Otherwise, it's going to make you make assumptions that you shouldn't make, and you're going to make the wrong ones. And so part of what I'm doing is during this time over the next few months, I use it and I know what I see. You know how it's sometimes things you just know really well, but you don't necessarily know how to teach them or say them in your own words. Do y'all relate to that? It's I can do it. I just can't explain it. It's like trying to give directions. I know how to get there, but I couldn't really tell you how to get there. I can just get in the car and I show up at the other place, And that's called being unconsciously competent. So there's 4 stages in learning, okay? There's unconsciously incompetent. That's stage 1. Okay? Unconsciously incompetent. That means you don't know what you don't know. That's why a baby doesn't know that they don't know how to tie their shoes. Right? And then which is a lot of people I didn't even know that they didn't know that without order prints, they're blind when they're trading. Can anybody relate to that? Okay, so the next stage is consciously incompetent. Okay? And that's 4-year-old not knowing they don't know how to tie their shoes. Okay? They know that they don't know how to do it. That's how some of y'all feel when you first walk in the door and you see these charts that look like the Matrix to you, right? Anybody feel that overwhelming? Oh my gosh, I really don't know what the heck is going on. So, you were to tie your shoes at 2. Well, then why aren't you a billionaire? I think I ordered when I was 5. Because I was all about Velcro, man. And now I don't tie them at all. I just wear boots. But anyway, so consciously incompetent is the second level of learning. Because you have to know what you don't know before you can move forward. Then there's conscious competence. Okay? And that's where you know what you're doing, but it's sort of like you're tying your shoe, but you're sort of thinking about it. You have to look at the shoe to tie it. Maybe you're twisting your tongue a little bit and, work at it and you get it. Okay? And you can get it done, but you gotta think about it. You gotta concentrate on it. Okay? So everybody understand conscious competence? And that's sort of where a lot of you, I think, are at that stage now. Would you agree? Especially with those two setups. You feel very consciously competent. And even on some of the other stuff, you're getting consciously competent. But at least on those two setups, you should be pretty consciously competent on like, and what I mean that is I mean the whole one that I taught Thursday night. And then you're working between stages 2 and 3 on divergence and trend and range and getting all that down. So hopefully y'all have those two setups that I taught Thursday night down backwards and forwards, because those are pretty simple. Okay? And then the final stage is unconscious competence. That's like you just put your shoe on and tie it. You don't even know you tied your shoe. Like you just did it. Okay? So sometimes when you do things long enough, like, and then all of a sudden my son comes up to me and he says, "Dad, teach me how to tie my shoes." And I'm like, oh, I got to think about this. Because, I mean, I could just tie them. But now I got to break it all down so he can tie them. Right? So, once you've been in stage 4, you have to work really hard. A teacher has to work really hard at going all the way back to stage 1 even. They have to go to stage 3 and go, okay, I know what to do, and I can explain how to do it. Okay, I know I don't know, but I know it's important. And then what about the person who doesn't even know that they don't know and helping them understand it? Right? So I'm not just holding back from you. I'm trying to make sure that when I teach you the best thing I can possibly teach you. And so I'm working a lot on working it backwards from stage 4 to 3 to 2 to 1. So I know I did that, but why did I do that? And how can I make that make sense to someone else where they can do it over and over and over again? So that's what I have to work on. Like y'all are working on going right now from stage 1 to 2 to 3 to 4. I have to work on going from 4 to 3 to 2 to 1. And Sniper's a lot of that, doing that right there, right? Would y'all agree that we worked really hard at going all the way backwards in the Sniper training? Making sure that somebody who doesn't know what was important became aware of what was important and knew they didn't know how to do it and then became aware of how to do it. And then now they have confidence in the ability to do it. And the more they do it, it'll just be automatic. So that's part of why it's there. Because I know some people are like, why don't we just have it now? It's like, well, part of it is I got to teach you. And not just... Because if I just throw a shiny toy in front of you, it's not going to help you. So, yeah, and I'm like Christopher says, look at the results. I mean, we had a trader in the room, in our UK room, posted. Had a pretty awesome post. Where was that at? I want to say it was in the UK room. It was that one or the... Oh, no, it was in the... Yeah, it was in the UK room. I think it's the Asia session room. Yeah, day 4 of 90-day challenge. Right here, 112, lost 1, net P&L $485, 1 trade, win was not valid, 1 loss if I had, like he basically took it, but shouldn't have, I guess. And then 1 loss if I had my target correctly, would have actually been a winner, so he would have actually had 13 out of 13. So far, results are fantastic. That's pretty cool, isn't it? I mean, that's results. That's right there. That was posted tonight. And that's in our, EU UK session room. So I'm really excited to see stuff like that. The more y'all tell me about that, the more it energizes me. A lot of y'all go, how does he do all this constantly? Honestly, it's y'all's feedback. When y'all are doing well, or when y'all are like desiring to do well and saying, hey, I'm having a hard time here, help me do better. Like seeing people that want to do better energizes me. I love helping people. And seeing people that are rocking it obviously energizes me. But it doesn't mean they have to, like, if they're doing poor, but they want to do better, like, I love it. So, and I mean, I think I helped knock out about 40 or 50 tickets tonight. I called half a dozen of you tonight. And I think everybody but one person had everything actually already resolved anyway. So I was just going through and checking up and, trying to make sure things are going. I hopped on some computers. I like to help y'all. And so, yeah, let me know when you're doing well and let me know when you need help, okay? All right, so y'all want to get to the meat? Y'all want to get into this DOM thing? Yeah, ready? Okay. All right, let me pull up my Ninja. All right, So to get to your DOM, you go to File, New, and you'll see a dynamic DOM, and you'll see a static DOM. Everybody see that? Two of you do. Anybody else? There we go. All right, it's got to be participatory. I got to know that you're there, okay? Already opened. Sweet. Okay. I don't know if it'll let me open the dynamic DOM. Let's see if it does. Oh, it does. So let's open both of them. Side by side. And let's look at what happens. Okay? If the market would move, it would be helpful. All right. See how they're lined up right now? You're going to center both of them real quick. Okay, now they're both lined up. Okay? I think I need to log out of Facebook. Hold on a second. Otherwise, I'm going to get all these pop-ups. There we go. Logged out of that. Put my Skype on. Away. There we go. All right. So we need a little movement, which would help see more what's going to go on. Okay, so I'll go ahead and go into one mistake. If you're using the dynamic DOM, do not use this hold button. What do you notice about the price when I hit the hold button? Dynamic one is on the left, static one is on the right. Okay? I'll talk to you about how to get access to it in a second. It freezes. So if I place a trade, do I even know what the live price is? No. Is that a good idea? No. It seems like it's sort of... So people use that because they're like, it keeps moving on me. All right? So I'll unfreeze it. We're stuck in between two levels right now. But, and we'll change some settings on here too. Anyways, what happens is the static DOM moves everything up and down. The dynamic DOM, just the price moves up or down. So like the whole thing is going to come down, the whole thing is going to come up. And here's what happens is like you go to place an order, and let's say you're going to place an order. If it would actually tick for me. It's the bad idea about doing a webinar at night on the DOM. But you go to place an order and this thing moves on you. Then do you think it might be, see how that moved down? So if I was trying to enter order at 90.26.50, I would have got in at 90.27 if I would have hit the button. Does that make sense? Yeah, Greg, if you'll go short real quick so the market will fly up, then that would be really useful. Okay, so I'm going to hold it here again. Look at that. Okay, I'm holding it at 90.26.50. Just hovering over it. Greg, have you went short yet? Oh, now I'm at 90.26.25. See how it's moving on me? Do y'all get that? I know it's not like a massive movement right now, but imagine when the market's moving, how you could easily place an order at the wrong price. Does that make sense to everybody? Paul's like, I've done it. You can miss it by 10 ticks. You can miss it by 10 points. I mean, the thing can literally just fly, and all of a sudden your order's up here. You're like, I wanted to get in here. I wanted my stop to be here, not there. Okay? And now I have to log back into Facebook because I need something off of it. Hold on one second. So I put a link up. Is everybody part of our Facebook group? It's on the webinar. Okay. Do you think it might be good to be part of the Facebook group since I post all sorts of helpful little things in there? Yes. So, I'm just going to reply to somebody that said yes and hit reply to all. So there's the link to the Facebook group where you search Apex Investing. I know some of you don't use Facebook, so sorry. But the information comes out eventually somewhere, but it always goes there first. Like when I post a video up, it goes right up. Like the webinars will go right up on there first. Let's see here. I'll pull it over. All right. So live event, let's scroll down. All the upcoming webinars, put in there. We got posts by traders saying, is this right? Is that right? What do you think about this trade? Going on around the clock, which is pretty helpful. Okay. There's the link. See if I put this in the chat, will it go to everybody? I think so. Okay, did everybody get that link? So it's ninjatrader.com/enable-disable-static-super-dom-request. You don't need the big long Facebook ID tracker stuff. Okay. So I'll get rid of all that mess. Go to the same place. Okay. So what you do is you put in your Ninja. Now this is once you've funded an account. Okay. Once you're on, if you're on demo, like you haven't funded an account, then you'll have it. Okay. But once you fund your account, then you go over here and you have to tell them that you got to tell them what your license key is for your live account. And you put in your email address and then you say enable it, or you can also turn it off. Okay. And then you got to be able to do some basic addition to submit the request. So by the way, there is a cost of 10 cents per side. Okay. So you'll have to decide by the end of this webinar if that's worth it for you. All right. But 20 cents, in my opinion, is very worth it for you. Let's just look at if you miss a trade by one tick, let's say on NQ, what would that cost you? What's one tick worth? One tick is $5. So that's 50 trades or 25 round turns. Or no, that's, yeah. So 50 trades, 25 round turns. Just if you just made one extra tick because of using the wrong DOM. The point is being, it costs 10 cents a side. A lot of people get concerned about, oh, that's another 10 cents a side. Okay? Who cares? Like, if you lose $5, that's a lot. Like, on just one tick, one time, that was 50 trades in and out. So, yep, it costs you to use it live, and it costs you more not to use it live. Do you think it costs more than 10 cents to not use it live? Because it starts costing you ticks, not just 10 cents. So one good question, if you place a trade and cancel it, do you get charged? No, only on per contract traded. Okay? It's a great question, Doug. So the price is only moving, but the prices are still, we can easily place our trade at the proper price. Yeah, on a static DOM, you can. Right, this is trades placed on the exchange. All right, I mean, just basically don't worry about dimes. If dimes are your problems aren't dimes. Okay? That makes sense? So now again, you don't see the big change here, but Now let me go over here and highlight over 90.27. Let's let the price move a tick or two. So, Greg, can you short again? Look at that. Do you see how I stayed at 90.27? We'll get into how to place a trade. I promise you. First, I got to show you the value. We'll go into why it's better. Okay, but first, do y'all see, and we'll go into how to use it with Chart Trader, we'll go into all that, okay? But do y'all see my point? Do you see, first I'm trying to show you a value. Remember the consciously incompetent part? We're getting there, okay? Notice how I put my arrow there and it stayed on 90.27. I go over here to place my order, and I put it at 90.27 again and watch it move. Eventually. See, now I'm at 90.2675. There's a tick that just went. Okay? And that's in a slow market. Now it's at 98.2725. That's a slow market. Imagine a fast market. So once you are enrolled for the static DOM, it does apply to every live trade you place. Chart Trader or static DOM or dynamic DOM. Okay? So again, you got to decide if it's worth it for you. All right? If you decide you don't like it, it's okay not to have it. Okay? Because you can still get the depth of market without it if you decide you don't want to use this. Okay? Question, can you use it on micros? Yep, you just go up there and choose micro. Use it on any, you can use it on any instrument that you have in your instrument manager. Okay? All right, so we good so far? Y'all actually see the difference of if you were going to trade with the DOM, why you would want to use the static and not the dynamic. So what is the benefit of a dynamic DOM? It's free. Except for it's not in reality. There is no benefit. The one benefit would be you could still see depth of market if you weren't going to trade with it. Nope, I have AMP futures too, no problems at all. Now, if you sign up for it, did you notice on that form, what was the option? If you change your mind, what was the second option you could do? Because I want to see how this isn't like a forever thing. Do you see this right here? Disable. So can you turn it off if you decide you don't like it, you don't want it, you don't want to pay that extra fee? Are you able to do that? Does that take away some stress of turning something on, knowing that you're not stuck with it forever in the extra fee if you don't like it? As long as you can add the numbers, yes. If you can't add the numbers, you have a bigger problem. You're going to have a hard time figuring out where to place your stops and take profits. It's 10 cents on everything. Doesn't matter what it is. So it'd be a higher percentage on a micro, but what is a tick on a micro? Like let's say on a micro in Q, what's a tick worth? 50 cents. So if you just misplace an order by one tick, you just paid 50 cents. What about in a fast market where it moves by 8 ticks? Did it pay for itself even on micros? Yeah. Okay. So obviously the cost is higher as far as a percentage of your tick, but the ticks themselves still ends up paying for itself. Okay. So can we agree that we don't want the static DOM unless we just want depth of market? Does everybody agree to that? Okay, now let's talk about depth of market. Let's see here. I think I have another post somewhere. Oh goodness, where is it? It looks about the same as the one I just pulled up. Okay, I think everybody knows how to go to their account, their Ninja account, and update their depth of market, their data feed. Right? So if you have top of book, then you won't see all these prices. Does that make sense? Because you only have the bid and the offer. So if you're on like the $3 plan, you're not going to see all these prices. So you'd want to upgrade your data feed to, I don't know what it is, $7, $8, $10, whatever. Yeah, $9. There you go. There's a $9 plan that you can get that gives you the depth of market, okay, and gives you a decent number of markets. The $21 plan gives you like every single market on the CME and the depth of market. We're going to talk about that extra level that you're seeing. It's not useful. It's actually tricking you. It's one of the mistakes. Okay, so you'd want the $9 or the $21 plan, okay, if you want to have depth of market. All right, so first, I want to get rid of a fake level on this for you. So can we agree that you can use the static DOM for depth of market, but you don't want to use it for trading? Everybody agree to that? So if you don't want the static DOM, that's fine. There's still value on the depth of market, and we'll talk about that value, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and close out the static DOM, or the dynamic DOM, okay? And again, you know, if it has a hold in the left, it's a dynamic one, okay? All right, so now you notice this big number, like the 62 and the 65 up here at the top? Do y'all see those? They're adding all the numbers up. So we need to get rid of that. So we're going to go over here to our right click and go to our properties. Okay, and where it says show cumulative depth, we're going to turn that to false. So it's adding up the 5 levels together, and it's the sum of the 5 levels. So, okay, notice right now how y'all see like 60 and 60? Watch what happens when I hit apply. It goes away. Do you think there's really any value in knowing how many contracts are in the next 5 levels combined? I'm hoping your answer is no. There's no value whatsoever in knowing the sum of the next 5 levels. Okay, so you want that off. All right, do y'all happen to see any level that might be bigger than another on here? Yep, it's still up right here. So I right-clicked, I went to properties, and show cumulative depth is set to false. Yeah, some bigger numbers. So the market's sort of going to be trading in between those, and it has to take all those orders out. Now, let me tell you a little be aware of. If that number is staying the same as it's moving, so if it moves like up and it's still 28 at the top and still 28 at the bottom or whatever, and it's staying the same, meaning like the highest number, like let's say this 28 is 28, 28, it stays 28, 28, 28, 28 all the way up. And this is like 29, 29, 29, 29 all the way down, then it means nothing. What that means is that's just simply a market maker doing a very wide bid-offer spread. Okay? So if you see a level constantly changing, like the price move, like it goes from 28 here to 28 at 98 to at 28.75 to 28 here, to 28 here, to 28 here, and the numbers below it stay small, then that means nothing. Okay? Y'all got it? Simple enough? But notice how like, these 5 levels don't have anything, and then as it moves down, we actually do have like 29, 30 contracts. All right? Now, before we got on, I took a screenshot of the market, and there was a larger level. Let's see if I can zoom in here. All right, so do y'all see that number right there? Do y'all see a number that maybe stands out among the rest? Okay, so would you know that that 60 exists if you were just looking at the chart first? Like, would you know it was there? Okay. Now, if you, let's say you're short a trade, maybe you're trailing it, or maybe you're just short, whatever. Then let's say you went short there and your stop was like right here. Okay? Well, if it has to fill all these orders to move up, if it has to fill these 60 orders, would you rather your stop be in front of the 60 orders? Or would you rather your stop be behind the 60 orders? So somebody said in front. So you would rather it not have to fill the 60 orders before it hits your stop loss? Like, would you rather literally it doesn't have to fill 60 orders and you get stopped out, or would you rather make it at least fill 60 orders if it's going to kick you out? Y'all get that? Okay, so I took this picture before the webinar started. Like, pretty much like right before. Now let's look at this. Those 60 orders are sitting at 90.29. Where did it go up to the tick? I took it when it was about right here. And look at where it went to. The high of that bar is 90.29. It went up, it bumped it couldn't fill all the orders, and it came back down. Do y'all think that's valuable to know? Whether you're on a static or a dynamic DOM. Like, that should get a few of you a bit excited. Now, what if you were going to get in a trade and your entry was right there? Would you want to be in and let it possibly not fill these 60 orders? I'm saying your entry is long, okay? Or would you want it to be up here to go long? Yeah, move it up a couple ticks. Does that make sense? Now, if you're going short and your entry was right here, or maybe even right here, where do you think you'd want your entry to be at? Below it. It'd be a stop limit order, not a limit. Yeah, 90.28, like 75. Make it below it. Does that make sense? Like, am I breaking this down? And I mean, this is live. So I thought that was sort of, I was like, I'm going to take a picture and we'll see how it works out. Like, well, it worked out pretty dang well. If I was trailing a trade, do you think there's a pretty good chance I'd put a stop right behind that level? Yeah, you think so? Yeah, so do I. I'm trailing a trade right now, and my stop is right behind the level. You see that? Because 90.29 is where that 60's at. So I got my stop just, right behind it. I'll move it tighter, but it's not my 60 contract. I'm only in 2. But I went short on a nice big pullback on several contracts. I have 2 left open. As it came down and laid that mini mag and all that fun stuff, and that 60 was there, I'm like, oh, I could tighten that up. You don't understand that. Okay. So you go short in a market. And if I get stopped out on this, I mean, it's like, whatever. but you go short on a market, okay? And there's 60 contracts that have to be filled before, and this is on NQ by the way. Now, I wouldn't be really paying attention as much to the DOM on MNQ. I'd be watching the DOM on NQ. You can use the DOM for trading on MNQ, but the DOM on NQ. But do you want literally, because what happens to happen is every single contract has to be filled for it to move. Okay? So do you want, if I'm going to get knocked out of a trade, I want to get knocked out of a trade if they actually knock all of these contracts out. Those contracts are aggregate orders. I'll show you what they are here. Let's see if I can. Here, I'll do it on. I'm going to do this on MNQ for a second, okay? All right, watch the number change. What does the number say right now? What does it say? 9? Well, they just pulled it. So it's limit orders placed. Okay? So these are limit orders that people are placing. Does that make sense? So you're seeing take profits or you're seeing limit entries. They could be an entry or an exit. So it's either a take profit limit or it's a limit entry. You don't know which one. You don't know if somebody's getting in or out. Okay? All right, so that was a fun trade for fun. I'm going to flatten it out at break even right now. Okay. So I was doing that. I was wanting to get a good example just to show how it held. So, but did the example show? Did that make the point for you? So in a long trade, you should be looking at the number of contracts on the sell side. Yes. When you're a short trade, you should be looking at trades on the long side. So Nikita, get more specific. If you have a question, ask me specifically what your question is. Right, those 60 are no longer there. They're gone. They've been eaten up. But they were there, right? So while they were there, it was a good stop, and the market actually moved down quite a bit on the other contracts that I already took profit on. So that take profit way down there wasn't the point. You're Christopher Corrigan, you're looking at the wrong thing. That's me moving it out of the way so my take profit doesn't get hit so I can trail. Okay? So if the market's moving down and you see a big block of orders pop up, would you maybe want to move your stop down behind it? Yes. Okay, good. Flat is the same as close. Yeah. Flat means flat in everything. Okay, so this is a good thing, Nikita, you're asking. So you're asking, so this means the market will prevent the market from going against me? They can. What you're saying is, if I have to be in the front of the line of a car coming at me or the back of the line of a car coming at me, where do I want to be? It doesn't mean the other cars won't bump, 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 bump and get to me, but I want to be in the back of the line. Like, do you want 8 people blocking for you, or do you want 60 people blocking for you that somebody has to come through to get to you? David says, this is why you never want to be in first class on a plane crash. So, what I'm trying to do right now is help you understand. Don't try to look at this and say, this is where the market's going to go, because there's a bunch of orders here. Okay? What I want you to understand is, this is what the market has to get through to get to my order. Where do I want my order to be? Do you think that's a big lesson to take home tonight? If y'all just got that from this webinar, is that huge? So don't get caught up in how can I use all these numbers to read which way the market's going to go, and how can I use these numbers to... It's if I'm going to put an entry in, or I'm going to move a stop or a take profit. You know, I mean, literally, think about your 10 tick take profit. And let's say your 10 tick take profit is here, or let's just say it's literally right at the 90.29 level. Like, let's say you're going long. Would it be wiser to get in front of that so you don't have to be last in line? Like, I'll give up a tick to get filled. Anybody ever sat there before and watched it hit your level and come off, hit your profit, come off, hit your profit, come up, but it didn't fill you? Did y'all ever, has that happened to you yet? If you traded live? Many, 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 many times. Yes. Oh my God, 3 times today alone. Oh my gosh. Well, did you know when you put a limit order in, it's a take profit, or take profit order in, it's a limit order, okay? Limit means this price or better. Okay, here's what it really means. To you as a trader, it means first in, first fill. It doesn't matter if you're a big boy with 1,000 contracts or you're a newbie with 1. Okay? So whoever put out of those 60, let's just say that was 30 different people that I each put in 2. By timestamp, when their order went in, is the order that they're going to get filled in. Okay? So, what does the ATM do for you automatically? What is the, like, instantly it places a limit order for you. Okay? So it's called FIFO, first in, first out. And Kevin's like, well, don't commercial traders place orders with the intent of canceling them? And do they do drip orders? They do iceberg orders. They place them with canceling to manipulate. There's a lot of things that they do. But that's not the point of what you need to get from tonight's lesson. What you need to get from tonight's lesson is they're there and you need to be aware of them. Okay? So, yeah. 60 orders were gone. Get out of the way. All right. So an adjustment, well, I mean, if you have a take profit right here, you're just going to move it. You're just going to move. You know how to move an order, right, Nikita? You can even move it on your chart. Okay, well, you can move it there. I'll show you how to move it on the DOM. But I got to make sure y'all understand what I'm talking about. The 60 may still be there if the orders are still there. If the orders go away, then they'll be gone. I mean, if I put 60 orders up and I decide to cancel them, they'll be gone, right? So somebody may get. Have you ever been tired of it not hitting your profit and you've moved your limit order just to take it? Okay, well then you would have helped reduce the 60 because you may have been all of that 60. You may have been part of that group. But what if you could go ahead and go, hey, my order's right there. You look over at the DOM real quick. And remember, you can use that pin program I teach you how to use in the section on the cheat sheets. And you can pin this thing on top. What if you're like, let's move that down to be a tick in front of everybody else. Okay, y'all get that? Like, is everybody at least aware of this knowledge now? Okay, so I'm assuming everybody is. I think I got everybody caught up there. All right, so now that you see value in the DOM, okay, and now you're actually becoming a little bit consciously competent, right? Because you can actually start to see things and see levels. All right, let's go over the properties real quick, and then let's go over how to place trades, and then we'll wrap it up. I do use it the same way when I'm trailing. So I right-clicked, I went over to properties, and let's just go down them. I tell it to auto-center the price. What that happens is if it goes above the market, where the market is, and I'll show you, like, so I'm using my mouse wheel, and watch what happens. Boom, it auto-centers it, okay? But it won't auto-center it. It won't move it on you until it goes off of the DOM. Okay? So, we got our auto-center set to true. We also can choose our account, our contracts. Let's move over to NQ because that'll be a little more realistic anyway. And this one over here. Oh, I still have two of those. That's okay. And then let's move over to this one. I trade like 3 accounts at once. So, anyways, okay, so right here, you choose your account, you choose your ATM, okay? You choose your quantity, you choose your instrument. And then let's go over to properties. Okay? So we got auto setter down. We got, it can display your account. Up in the top, you could have it display your ATM strategy, your symbol, whatever. That's just like in the top left up here. You can change the font size. So maybe that's too small for you to see. All right, so we could like hit 12 and make it bigger. All right. A lot of people don't know they can change the font. You can also change the colors. I don't suggest jacking with colors on this. Just leave it really basic. And that's even too big for me, but there we go. All right, so you can change your font. There's not that many settings here, so it's pretty easy. Parameter type. What do we want to use? Actually, hold on. Before we jump to that. Last trade displayed in price column, so that's what it's showing you. Last price displayed, that's yellow. Middle mouse button. Okay, this is like your middle mouse wheel. Okay, your wheel, you know how you push your wheel down and there's a button on it? And this is important. Like, everybody actually needs to get this. Does everybody know that they can push their mouse wheel down and it clicks? Okay, if you're using a touchpad on a laptop, Are you going to have a middle mouse button that you can push it down? No. Should you be trading with a touchpad? I mean, come on, really? No. I will actually give you another tip. You shouldn't be trading with a wireless mouse because it uses Bluetooth, which can be interfered with by phones and slow down your reaction from your mouse to your computer. So use a wired mouse. They're cheaper and they're better. Okay? Plug a mouse in. Laptop or desktop. So think about it. Like, you'd rather plug directly into your router than use Wi-Fi if you can, right? Because you have faster internet plugging directly in. Plug a mouse in. Right? Doesn't have to be fancy. I mean, mine lights up and does all sorts of stuff and has buttons on it that I don't even know how to use. But one with a wheel, with 2 buttons, a right click, a left click, that plugs in is sufficient. You don't got to spend a lot of money. Okay? But you need that middle mouse button. Okay? Now, number of price rows. This is cool. Depending upon the size of, I mean, if you got a smaller window, like I can change that to 30, and it'll show me 30 rows. I can change it to, if the market's slow, you can make it small. If the market's like flying, I can make it bigger. Okay? You know, I have my monitor stacked, so I can make it pretty big, but you can change that to whatever you want to on how many rows of price are being displayed just as it moves so it doesn't recenter on you constantly. You know, P&L display, whatever. Ticks is a parameter type that you need to always use, right? Because we use ticks to make sure that our ATMs are working correctly. So the middle mouse is, we're going to use that. I haven't explained why, but you have to set that to true. Okay? So just trust me. We're getting there. Set it to true. That doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. Definitely set your cumulative depth to false so you don't think there's a number that matters that doesn't matter. Like I talked about at the beginning. I like to see the highs and low markers of the market, so it actually will put the high and low of the market on there for you for the day. Show market depth, yes. Show quick buttons, you know, you don't need them. Show realized P&L and flat, you can set that to true or false. Okay. Simulate order, no, we don't need to do that. Single quick order modification, true. Set that to true. Okay? All right. And then stop limit offset, you can set it to off, 0, 1, 2, whatever you're willing, how much ever slippage you're willing to take. I have mine set to 1. Okay? When I use the DOM. And then use a stop market for stop loss orders. Very important that you stop market for stop loss orders, because if you use a stop limit for stop loss order, the market could jump your limit and you could keep losing and losing and losing and losing until you finally have the guts to hit close. So just use, when you need to get out, get out. Okay? Everybody good on that? Take a screenshot, whatever. Take a picture to last longer. All right, we good? When you're done, hit set to default. So that will become your default settings. Okay? Then hit OK. It applies everything. Now, let's say I have an Xbox and I have an order to get in at 90.33.25. Like that's the red line that shows on the chart. Okay? So I'm making this up. All right, but or green line. Or let's say we have an order to get in at 90.33. Okay, say this was a reversal bar with trapped orders inside of it. Okay, so we're getting ready for 90.33. Are you following me? Middle mouse click. Push down the button, and it'll put a stop limit order in for you with the offset. So that it basically, the second that price is touched, it'll put an order in one tick above it, so that way you get filled at that price or a tick higher, or basically at a tick higher or less. You'll get, or better. if I click, so let's go ahead and do it. If I click the left button, that's a limit order to buy above the market. What does a limit order mean? This price or better. Was buying at 90, if the market's at 90.33 and it can fill me at 90.32, is 90.32 a better price to buy at than 90.33? So let me say that again. If the market's at 90.33 or 90.32 and I put in an order to buy at 90.33, what's better, buying at 90.33 or buying at 90.32? So limit order says, I want to get in at this price or better. And it's going to go, oh, well, I can get you better than that price. Boom, you're filled at 90.32. That's where that brown line is. Okay? So, do we want to... So, this is what happens is people go, well, every time I hit the button, it just gets me in. Well, it's because you're hitting limit orders to buy above the market or sell below the market. Now, anybody in here ever traded Nadex before? Or some other platforms? Okay, this isn't a Nadex lesson, okay? But it is a lesson that you need to be very aware of. All right, so let me log into my Nadex account eventually. Come on, get in. This isn't my platform. This is theirs. I have my own platform for Nadex, but if it'll load, well, then fine. I'll just load my own. One of these is going to load up. Pulling a lot of resources right now. All right, well, their platform's too slow. Hence why I made my own. Get rid of these little errors. So let me log into my account here. All right. On Nadex, you buy on the right side, you sell on the left side. Right? Everywhere else in trading, it's the other way around. Notice even on your chart trader, it's the other way around. Buys on the left and sells on the right. This is one of the big mistakes people make. They try to go over here to buy. See where it says sell. Just read. Enter your buy orders here. Enter your sell orders here. Okay? So, I'm going to press the middle mouse click button to get in for long. So, let's go ahead and get me in one real quick. Okay? So let's say I got filled. Oh, wait a minute. I did it on my chart trader. By the way, watch this. I'm going to do this on my chart trader, okay? And it's going to pop right up on my DOM. Do you see that? So it's on my chart trader, and it's on my DOM. Here we go. Now, I can click this and drag my order here, and it'll adjust. I can also click it and drag it here. I click, boom, click. Click it, move down, click. Okay? Do y'all see that? So click, move up, click. Are you seeing how fast that is, by the way? Versus sort of trying to get it on there, move it, trying to get it exact. Do you see how fast it is to get it exact? Like if I want to be, oh, this level has 14 behind, or let's say I had it up here. And I'm like, oh, I want it to be right behind that 23. Boom, right there. Okay. So now let's say we want to get in a trade. What do you got to do over here on the chart trader? Either you got to just buy at market, sell at market. Not a good idea. Okay. Or what you should be doing, right, is going over here and going, okay, the price is, you know, 90.33. Right click, scroll down, click buy stop. Right? Is that the process you use for Chart Trader? Okay, so let's cancel it out with the X. Okay, so I'm buying at 90.33. Click. Is that faster? Oh, it's not fast. Oh, I got to do a 90.2750 sell. Okay, let's go over here. 90.2750 sell. Okay. And what I could do, again, is you could have your chart opened up. You can move this over here. We can go and grab. I'm laughing because I was worried that I wasn't going to have enough content to cover with y'all tonight. Well, if my pin program was working, where'd it go? So maybe I need to open it. Desk. Pins. It's already running. Well, if my desk pins program was working, it's not going to cooperate. I'll try it one more time, or else I'll just force close it. All right. What do you do if desk pins is not working? Well, we're going to go to our task manager. We're going to find the slacker. And we're going to shut it down. Then we're going to reopen it. All right, so now anyways, y'all get the idea. I'll let you go back and watch the dustbin video. I think it's getting confused with all the screen sharing and all that stuff going on right now. And there are other programs that do that too. But you could pin it. You could put it right beside it. You could put it on the right side of your chart. You could put it on the left side of your chart. You could put it on top of your chart. You could just put it like right there like that. Okay? So, or you could also do that. You could use always on top and not have to worry about pinning it at all. Right click and say always on top. Thank you. Marion, as always. So, how am I doing the buy and sell stops? I am clicking my mouse button. The mouse wheel. I'm pushing in my mouse wheel. Like I'm pushing my mouse wheel down. Instead of rolling it, I'm pushing it down. And by the way, I had that on custom, so it gave me the error. I got to change it to 2010. So I'm literally physically pushing the mouse wheel down. Can everybody repeat that? Can they do that? Can they push the mouse wheel down? I haven't uploaded it yet, Shane, so I'm going to have to cover it Tuesday. So the middle button is the mouse wheel. Okay? Push mouse wheel down. If you push it down, the wheel, while you're over it, there you go. Click. Click. Cancel, just hit X. To adjust it, click on it and move it. Like you ever get one where there's like a Xbox and you don't get filled, but then it goes up and there's another Xbox and then another Xbox and another Xbox? Right? Like you got to sell. Whoops, wrong side. See? Sell. The market's moving up, then moving up, and then there's another Xbox trapped order. I can just move it. Okay? I do not think it can be switched to left mouse click. I think it has to be the mouse wheel. If you find a way to do it, let me know. But I have never heard of any other way to do it. That's why it's actually a setting to do it. Hey, you like my DR settings? No problem seeing big hill, little hill on that now. Somebody's complaining about they can't see your DR. I go, yeah, I'll make it where they can see my DR. So all I did on that, by the way, so he's asking what my setting was. Deviation, where are the reversals? There they are. So I just changed the setting on plots. What did I do? I mean, the width is 35. So, but yeah, I made it very visible. Oh, I know what I did. I did auto bar width to true. I just changed that to true. And so now you can really see the big hill, little hill. You don't have to like try to strain your eyes. So where is limit? So stop limit is pushing the mouse wheel. Limit would be like if I want to do a limit sell above the market. If the market gets up here, I want to sell. Then I left mouse click. Okay, now one of the biggest mistakes, if I left mouse click down here, if I want to get the market came down to this level I wanted to buy, such as, what do we do if, like right here, you get an X box set up short, and you want to sell if it gets within a few ticks of the cluster, right? You wouldn't do a stop limit, you would do a limit order, right? So like if I was going to go, oh, this is a setup right here, if it gets, back up to about right here at 89.97, I want to sell, then I could go up here and go, okay, sell right there and have my sell ready to go. Okay? So that's how you place the limit order. Now, biggest mistake in the world. Those who didn't wait till the end of the webinar, are going to regret it. All right, watch this. We're going to go do a whole bunch of things. Okay? Okay? So all this happens, and all these things are going on, and the market moves. Do you think it would be potentially pretty easy for me to forget? Let's just say I cancel all these. And let's just say I got out of the position. Oh, I'm selling. I need to buy. Here, let's buy. Okay. And then let me cancel these two out of the way. What I'm doing is I'm creating a scenario real quick that will cost you a fortune or may make you wake up and be really happy or want to shoot yourself. Are there any orders open still? Do I have any orders open? There's no setting to allow me to buy and sell at the same time. I just click both. Are there orders open? If you want to move an order, okay, just click it with the left, and then move it. Click it, move it, click it. That's how you move it. Okay, biggest mistake. Are there any orders still open? Would it be easy to walk away and think that you've canceled all your orders? Some people are like, I've done it. It's very easy. Yeah, you can see them on the chart, but what if your chart was up there? I mean, would it be really easy to walk away thinking you canceled? Like you put an order on, you were waiting for like 4 hours for the stupid order to fill on a magnet. You go to the bathroom, you totally forget the order's even on. The market's moved up way past it. You have no idea the order's sitting there. Okay? So one of your signs that you can't even see over here on the chart, that you can see on the DOM, is see these X's? That means that orders still exist. So if I click that X, it'll kill every single order on the buy side. Okay, now there's no more orders on the buy side, just some on the sell. If I hit close, close, no more orders there. It is wise, before walking away, to go to your control center and click on any orders, right click, filter, say I'll filter by account, we'll filter by SIM, and then we'll go over and I'll say filter only active orders to see if there are active orders still open. Can't you cancel after it's filled? Oh, I wish I could. On the ones that lose, if I could cancel them after they're filled, that'd be fantastic. Now, you can cancel, like, if you meant, like, can you cancel, like, your resting working orders? Like, if I get in right there and I have these, like, my take profit and stop loss, I mean, I can click that and cancel it. Now, if I click an OCO, which is what that ATM is, it'll cancel both sides, which means I better go ahead real quick and, put in my stop. And now I can click and move it. So on the control panel, just went to orders. Okay. And I right clicked and I said filter by account. And then I said filter only active orders. Because if you don't check that, you see every order you've made today. My flat doesn't work as well. I don't know what's up with it. But it should cancel all orders. But I just go with close and I double check. This is the most expensive. You can wake up to losing $2,000. I mean, what if you woke up and you went long the night before the bombing happened earlier this week, and you had a buy on that you didn't know you had on it, and that thing went up and got filled and it fell down like 100 points, and you literally just lost everything in your account and got margin called. Do you think that could easily happen? That you could easily accidentally leave an order on and not even know that you had I'm not talking about a position. I'm talking about just an order. Yeah, so I'm trying to scare you a little bit, so you don't have that pain. I've had that pleasure where I've woken up to like $5,000 in my pocket, and I've had that pain where it wasn't that bad, fortunately, but it can go both ways, and you just don't want to do that. Okay. All right, so a lot of people are saying they've had that happen. So when I click down the middle roller of my mouse, I get the number of contracts with the check mark and the X. Do I have it to change the setting? Did you change the setting I said at the beginning, Paul? So we went into settings, like the properties, and we said make middle mouse click stop market true. Okay, cool. All right, so yeah. And I recorded all this, so you'll be able to go back and watch the webinar too. All right, has everybody got it working? Everybody figure it out? I mean, there'll be the replay, but I mean, has everybody figured out the tech and how to click and how to make things move? And because I know some people were having issues, but I think we got everybody where they got the issue solved. Can't drag your order? That's odd. Like you click there and you can't click it and move it? Because you got to click it and let go. And then it moves and then you click it again. You don't click and hold. You got to click, let go, and then move. Click, let go, and then move. That work for you? Okay, sweet. And Breck's like, at least I know what you're talking about in the ER now. You're still getting a confirm window. That's one of the very first settings I teach you in Ninja setup. But go to tools, options. Under options, uncheck confirm order placement. Uncheck that box right there. And then click OK. So do y'all think in fast markets, maybe even in slow markets, this could be pretty functional versus right click, drag, pick the thing, all that stuff? Yeah. So y'all see why I like it? Yeah, it's good for market. I was taught first how to trade on a DOM. That was the first way I was taught to day trade. So I've always loved it. So, and I still like the chart trader at times. You know, there's nothing wrong with the chart trader. And I love how Ninja lets you like integrate. Like you go over here and you put your sell on and you can see it. I mean, you can take it, you can drag it and put it right there on that red line. So, do you think you should go live with this tomorrow and just start trading live with the DOM tomorrow? All right, good. I'm getting a bunch of no's. You should practice, okay? Like, you could trade your live account on your chart trader and you could trade sim over on the DOM because you could have one account on one and one account on another. Okay? You can also trade the DOM in market replay. So you can demo it and you can market replay it. Get it down, especially get down that whole buy sell side thing because that jacks people up all the time and they go in there to do their order and it messes them up. Now, if most of your orders are stop markets, it won't matter because if I try to do a stop market up there, it'll be like, you can't do that because you can't do a stop market sell above the market. You can only do a stop market sell below the market. So, but what will mess them up is they click the wrong side and they hit a limit and also they get filled instantly. So, like, they think they're selling and click. Okay, so did y'all get a lot from tonight? I mean, it's pretty simple, right? There's nothing earth-shattering, no trigonometry needed, but you learned how to set the properties, you learned how to place the orders, you learned how to move the orders, you learned how to use it between chart trader, you learned how to set your ATM on there, you learned how to set your quantity, your market, your account, how to place the orders. You learned actually how to use some of those big numbers to help you know when to get in or out of a trade, or how to adjust your stops or your entries. So, to get that, you are going to need to have the full market depth to get those 5 levels deep. You can't just get top of book. So if you don't know how to get top, to change it, just call Ninja, email Ninja. They'll send you a link. No, it does not get charged in market replay and everything else. There's like some rumor going around that they charge you in demo and market replay. There's no transaction happening on your account to go to Ninja for them to even know that it's being used. They only know when the actual goes to them. So for replay to see level 2 data, you need to download level 2 data. Yes. We do use stop limit orders. Why wouldn't you want? I mean, we do use stop limit orders for almost all our entries, right? That's what we're doing down here. So that's what the middle mouse click button is. That's the stop limit. The time you may use a limit is if, like, let's say right here, when the market came down, you wanted to play a pullback to the cluster. Well, then you could put your limit order in right there at 90.32 while it was still at 90.29.25 for the market to come back to it and place a limit order. So that'd be a reason to use a limit order for an entry. Because you're letting the market pull back to that price. This is level 2 data. If somebody at Ninja told you get charged for market replay or something, then they're an idiot. So, remember, they're not traders. But you have no idea how many customer service emails I send to the manager about correcting things. And they're great. I mean, they're awesome to work with. And I don't want to like dog them. I just want to say if somebody told you that, either they were, we'll just say they're misinformed. That would be the polite way. I'm sorry. Why wouldn't you use the sell stop when it pulls back? Well, because you want to use a limit. And you can't use a sell stop when it pulls back. It won't even allow you to. That option doesn't exist. If it pulls back, you're using a limit. If it's a breakout going towards it, you're using a stop limit. Just hit the buttons and you'll find out. Because it'll reject it if you do it on the wrong side. Best way to learn at this point, the best thing that y'all can do is start hitting the buttons. And try to accomplish what you want to accomplish in Sim. So place your orders like you're used to placing them in Chart Trader tomorrow or tonight. And then go over and place the order on the DOM until you get it right. Okay? You're not going to hurt anything. You're not going to break it. As long as you do Sim, it's not going to cost you anything. The support is everything it needs to be from any broker. Remember, you're living in the day of discounted brokerages, not $25 per contract brokerage. But, I mean, I emailed Ninja, and Ninja actually spent an hour with me on my computer today. So. But, also, like, if they're not getting your question answered, don't be shy about asking us. But, I mean, definitely, I mean, their support's pretty good. They'll go back. They're usually about 15 minutes out from replying to emails and stuff like that during the day. Yeah, off topic, Ben. All right. Well, I'm going to wrap this up. That went a little longer than 60 minutes. We're getting into that hour and a half mark. But I think that, yeah, between this video and the recording of this video and being able to rewatch this video and the practice of what we did today, y'all learned some valuable lessons, a new skill set. You can trade in faster markets now as you master this skill. And you can better place your orders without this being behind, in front of on the wrong side of the line. So make sure to always check your orders and make sure they're all canceled before you walk away from your desk, okay? Awesome. Y'all have a good evening. And I'll see y'all on the next webinar. I've already put them up to register for. So make sure you register for next week's webinars. Okay, they're on Facebook and they're on the webinars section of the Sniper page. Yes, if you go to the control center of your positions and right click and hit flatten everything, it'll flatten every order in every market and every position you have. That's actually one of the reasons that we have you boot up in the untitled or basic easy open. So not all your charts have to open. So if Ninja crashes and you're in a position, you can boot up to that basic screen and go right to orders, right click, flatten everything. That's actually the reason we do it. Y'all are welcome. Y'all have a good evening. Thank you. See y'all in the room tomorrow.